Hey guys, welcome back to the From the Stands podcast. This week we had on Richmond recruit Liam Fawcett. He was picked 43 in the 2023 NAB AFL draft. Hope you enjoy. Now that you've had some time to reflect, how do you see your draft year as a whole?
Yeah, so really happy with how everything went. From the beginning, from the start of pre-season, I was setting little goals along the journey, to build up to that end goal, to get drafted. So over the pre-season, it was mainly to get used to the bigger bodies. So I was up there training with the seniors at Centrals. So I was doing that for a bit, and just really trying to put on weight and put on a bit of size over the pre-season. And then coming into it, the main goal was to get my first three games underway. And that was, just to play the best footy I could, to get selected in the state squad. So the goal was, come out, play some real strong, good footy, and hopefully get selected for the state squad, which happened. And yeah, it all went well. And then through the season, it was mainly, play good champs, which actually didn't happen. That was the only thing that I struggled with through the year. I played two games and ended up getting dropped for the nationals. But it was after that, it was to get back to where I was in the first three games, bring back that footy that I was playing. Coming into finals, started to build my form back up and was playing some good footy, and I was happy with how everything was going. And then after the season finished, it was to get ready for the combine, which I was pretty happy with how everything went. Ran a good 2K time, felt pretty good. So yeah, so the year as a whole, I thought had a good year.
Getting dropped for the national championships, were you a bit worried at that stage about getting drafted?
Yeah, 100%. It's not the best feeling getting dropped. It sucks. No one wants that feeling. I remember coming home after the second game, telling my dad, I think I'm going to get dropped, and I don't think it's going to happen. But I kind of I laid back that night, just kind of relaxed, chucked my headphones in, and tried to not think about it. Went into training, tried to train as good as I could, even though I had that feeling I was going to get dropped. And then the Thursday night when they picked the squads, come home and I got a phone call from Tony Bamford, the state coach, saying that they've decided to drop me for that week. And yeah, it's not the best feeling, but you just got to deal with it and move on, move forward. So yeah.
Around that time as well, I think you kicked 6 goals against West Adelaide up at Hisen's. What was that like?
Yeah, so the week before it was I think it was a couple week before we played them, and I had a shocking game. I think I just had the 10 touches and one goal. And the main idea against them was, not to worry about what's happened in the past, but to, kind of go forward and not think about it. Yeah, that's the main thing. But coming into that, I was feeling good that week, training really well. And I think I just went out there, didn't really think about anything, just went out to play my brand of footy and have a bit of fun. And it worked out in my way, and had a good game, had a good day out.
Yeah, it was awesome that day. Who had the biggest influence in your career to date?
Yeah. So my biggest influence would have to be my dad. He's always been there, supported me along the way, along the journey. He'd take me, so all throughout my juniors, we'd go to trainings about an hour beforehand, and we'd just work on my set shots, we'd work on my kicking, my handballing. We'd always be doing something before training. We'd be the first ones there hour beforehand, and I'd loved it, and he loved it. He loved to get away, and use me as that kind of getaway a bit. So I loved it. He's always been there, always supported me along the way.
Across the 2 days of the draft, there's a lot of waiting around for the guys that end up getting drafted. How did you deal with this?
Yeah, so the first night I was kind of worried. I didn't know if it was going to happen. So watching that first round, I was kind of worried a bit. And then coming into the second night, I had a few friends and family over, but they really supported me. And you know, I told them if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. But if it does, it's a good thing. So So yeah, it was kind of a stressful time, but yeah, just tried not to worry about it. I was working at the time, so throughout the day, I was didn't really have my mind on the draft.
If you don't mind me asking, what was your part-time job?
I was a concreter,
Oh,
so
nice.
I was working for Parisi Paving. So lots of labour work, but it was good. They treated me pretty well, so loved it there.
And when your name was read out that moment, what was that like?
It was pretty unbelievable. I actually got a message beforehand from Matt Clark. So right before their pick, he sent me a tiger emoji, and I kind of looked at my phone and kind of looked around the room, um, and then I showed one of my mates, and then I just hear my name get called out, and everyone's just gone into it. It was just loud. It was because I actually have 7 siblings, so I come from a big family. So the whole backyard, it was just a massive scream. Just such an unbelievable moment. Something I'll cherish. So yeah.
Your siblings as well. I imagine there would have been some ferocious games of backyard footy in the day.
Yeah, no, they were great. Cooper and Hunter. They've always been there. They've always looked up to me. So yeah, they've always been there. Always good to have a laugh with, play around with. So yeah.
Which player are you most looking forward to playing against next year?
Don't really have one. Wouldn't say there's a player, but I'd say there's a game I'm looking forward to. Like if I could get picked, and that's it should be round one, but it's round two now against Carlton. Just to be able to play in front of a massive crowd like that would be, surreal. So I wouldn't say there's a player. I'd just say there's more of a game that I'd want to play.
Were there any other clubs that had any conversations with you prior to the draft?
Yeah, so I had a few. So my manager, so I had, I spoke with seven clubs throughout the year, but there was four that were really keen. Carlton, Richmond, I think it was then, it was Collingwood, and then it was someone else. But yeah, four clubs that were really keen.
What was that experience like being courted by those clubs?
It doesn't feel real. So when they actually come around and meet you, it it doesn't it doesn't feel it almost feels it feels surreal. It just doesn't feel right. You watch them, you watch all these big clubs as a kid growing up, and then when they actually come out to you, it's something unbelievable. You can't describe it. It's just a weird feeling.
What was your first conversation like with Adam Uze?
Yeah, so the phone call most people have heard, but I'd talk about the first moment I met him. We went out to dinner with all the boys, and funny enough, he was there as well. And he's such a great bloke. He's such a player's coach. You can really talk to him. He's just such a great bloke. He's a good player. Played at the D's and also coached there. But he's just such a good bloke. So that's kind of what I thought of him in my first time meeting him. So yeah,
Has there been a player you've particularly gravitated towards during the preseason?
I'd say Kaczynski, Jacob Kaczynski. Can't really say the last name, but yeah, he's been really supportive. He helps me through drills when I have trouble with them, and he's been really good.
Who are you living with at the moment over there?
So I was staying with Samson Ryan. That was just up until the Christmas break. I wasn't there for long, only 2 weeks, because I had glandular fever, which sucked. But yeah, I was staying with him up until the Christmas break. But now I'll go in with a host family for the next year or so, whenever I decide to move out, I guess. But yeah.
You've had a few nicknames over the years. What's one you're hoping sticks at Tigerland?
I've already got a nickname. I don't know if I can say it's a bit of an odd one. But yeah, probably Fawcett, just anything with the last name Force. So yeah, hopefully that sticks. But yeah.
And the final question that I've got for you, what are your goals for season 2024?
The goal is, to play my first game, to debut, be an unbelievable moment. So yeah, that's the main goal for this year.
That's nice. Thank you very much, Liam. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
No, all good. Thanks for having me.